You know why the Yankees always win, Frank? It's because the other teams can't stop staring at those damn pinstripes.
The Golden State Warriors may have the greatest weapon we've ever seen in the NBA in Steph Curry. But it's just like what Frank Abagnale said about the Yankees. Steph Curry's shooting prowess is blinding everyone to something else about the Warriors. It's not Steph Curry's fault, though. People are just naturally attracted to offense. But the truth is, like the legendary Alabama coach Paul Bryant once said, defense wins championships. The scary truth that nobody is noticing about the Warriors is that the Dubs could possibly be one of the best defensive teams in the league. And that may take them deep into the 2021 playoffs. Closing out the regular season, the Warriors are officially listed as the 5th best defensive team in the league. But that was before the acquisition of Gary Payton II and before the return of Jordan Bell. Just for a quick recap, Gary Payton was the Defensive Player of the Year in the G League. He's listed at 6'3" and just has explosive defensive capabilities.
But that's the thing, he's been in the G League. We talk about the importance of that. Oh, a rejection!
He is the definition of defense to offense.
Defensively, he's such a disruption in every way. Look at this, just a disruptor every way.
His father was Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA back in 1996 and made 9 All-NBA defensive first teams. And obviously, not only did he pass down his defensive genes, but he passed down his defensive talents to his son as well. In fact, in the NBA currently, I'd say Gary Payton II is already a top 5 defensive guard. Just from watching him play, I'd say he's like a Patrick Beverley, but more explosive, and Eric Bledsoe, but more crafty. GP2 is just a complete defensive pest that can prevent the opposing teams from getting into their offense. Steve Kerr definitely needs to find some way to get him into the playoff rotation. Jordan Bell, on the other hand, is coming out of the G League as well, where he averaged 17.6 points, 9.1 rebounds, 1.3 steals, and 2.1 blocks. He is defensively stout as well. In fact, he actually made it into the NBA on the strength of his defense, and one of the reasons why he's donning a Warriors jersey again is because of his work on the defensive end. Back when he was at the University of Oregon, he was the all-time block leader and was selected as the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year.
It looks like they've started into man-to-man. They do a lot of switching and
So on that note, if Steve Kerr wanted to go into complete defensive shutdown mode, he can put in Draymond Green, who is an all-NBA defensive talent, Andrew Wiggins, who is one of the top perimeter defenders in the league, Gary Payton, aka the Mitten, and Jordan Bell. The 5th player would obviously be Steph, who is a much better defender than everyone thinks he is, because everyone just stares at his miraculous three-point shots. Did you know that Steph once led the league in steals? Defense, 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 guys. The Warriors can be a defensive machine. Did you know that with the 2004 rebirth of the Bad Boys, the Detroit Pistons never had a player who averaged more than 18 points that season? Yet they were able to get a gentleman's sweep of Kobe, Shaq, and the heavily favored Lakers in the finals that year. Can you believe that despite Kobe and Shaq playing 45 and 38 minutes in Game 3 of that series, they only scored 11 and 14 points? That's the Black Mamba and the Big Diesel combining for 25 points.
Shaq bouncing it out to Walton. Wallace comes out to pick him up.
Now, I'm not saying that the Warriors this season are the 2004 Bad Boy Pistons, but I am saying that they're a lot better defensively than people think, and that their defense can bring them a lot farther than people are giving them credit for. Some of y'all are probably saying now that just because you have a few All-NBA defensive units on the lineup and a scoring machine, it doesn't mean that you can beat every other team. And you are right to a certain extent. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks had 3 All-NBA defenders in the 2020 season, but still got wiped out by the Miami Heat. But that was because the Miami Heat were able to stop their MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo by building a wall.
You gotta find joy where you can find it in the bubble.
Here's Giannis, and he is.
The thing about the Warriors is that Steph Curry can shoot over that wall. Man, Steph Curry is the ultimate weapon that Giannis could never be.
Curry again. It basically is saying, wait, oh, he backed up on him and hit another three.
And that leads me to my next point. Just how important is defense to win championships? Well, I did a little research and looked into the statistics of it all. And what the stats showed is that from 1999 to 2018, 6 of the 20 championship teams were first in opponent field goal percentage, 13 were ranked in the top 5, and 18 of them were in the top 10. What this data tells us is that NBA champions are usually the best at disrupting opponents' offense and keeping their opponents' field goal percentages real low. Well guys, the Warriors this season are 3rd in the league at opponent field goal percentage.
You know, I don't want to see a 3 if you haven't broken the paint.
Especially with this.
Oh, what a steal by JTA.
You might be saying, okay, but the Warriors can't rebound to save their life. But that's not exactly true, and neither is it too important apparently. The Warriors finished 14th overall in defensive rebound percentage, which puts them right smack in the middle. But the statistics show that it's not as important to rebound as you might think. Only 13 of the 20 champions from 1999 to 2018 had an above-average defensive rebounding percentage, but only by 1.6%. So while defensive rebounds do help, the statistics show that it's not the most important defensive area. And what's more important is forcing the opponents to low field goal percentages, which the Warriors do excel at.
Shooting is back, the 3 ball is there, and you know he can explode at any time.
Barton is always looking to attack.
In fact, even that number 5 ranking defensively is a bit misleading due to several reasons. First of all, Draymond missed training camp and the beginning of the season, and then when he did return, he was a bit out of shape, so that really skewed the statistics. Second of all, the Warriors are practically a new team this year, so it took them some time to get used to playing with each other, and as a result, they allowed more baskets at the beginning of the season. Last of all, like I said earlier, the Warriors just added 2 defensive specimens in Payton and Bell at the end of the regular season. Their defensive abilities aren't included in that top 5 defensive ranking. And if Kerr learns how to effectively use these 2 in the rotation, this Warriors defense is going to be a lot scarier than running out of beer on a Saturday boys' night. Anyway, last of all, when you have a team that believes in their leader, you have that camaraderie with one another. You have that teamwork. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, said that talent can win you games, but teamwork is what will win you championships. That's part of the reason why so many people doubt the Brooklyn Nets this year. Despite the talent their big 3 has in Kyrie, Harden, and KD, the 3 of them only played a grand total of 8 games together this season. When the going gets tough and when the shots aren't falling, will the leaders take responsibility, or will those fingers start pointing? The Warriors, on the other hand, have perhaps the best winning culture in all of the NBA. I mean,
Good effort. the problem with the Warriors.
I've watched a lot of basketball over the course of almost the last 2 decades, but I've never seen a team get so together in a game that had no impact on the regular season standings. I've never seen the best player on the team get so fired up after one of the young guns makes a nice move.
On the wing, off the bounce, takes out his do-it-yourself kit and drains the jumper.
I was a big fan of Kobe and his 2009-2010 Lakers, a big fan of the Big 3 in Miami. I even watched the Spurs win their 2014 championship, but I've never seen a culture like Steph and his Warriors before. The Warriors lead the league in assists at 27.7 this year, and while that doesn't exactly translate into being a high-scoring team, that does signal that the teamwork is there. When you feel that togetherness as a team, it helps tremendously on defense, where it's not about individual talent, but instead, it's on team communication and trusting your teammates to have your back when you make that extra effort. Defense, though, isn't the only reason why other teams in the West should fear the Golden State Warriors. That's only about 25% of the whole picture. Check out this next video here on exactly why the Western Conference should fear Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Because make no mistake, although they aren't complete, the Warriors have arrived. Click this next video, watch this next video, and I'll see you on the other side. As always, thanks for watching. Peace.